Narrated Discovery, Grenada. Welcome to a narrated discovery, the channel where we wander slowly, listen deeply, and explore the world's hidden beauty one country at a time. Today, we invite you to join us on a calm and poetic journey through Grenada, the Isle of Spice. We'll drift along emerald hills, taste the scent of nutmeg on the breeze, and discover a Caribbean island whose warmth lives in both land and people. So settle in, breathe deep, and let your imagination carry you. Imagine yourself arriving at the edge of a long-forgotten morning, the kind of dawn that lingers over 1,000 shades of green. You stand, barefoot, at the crest of a hill, dew soaking into your skin, while a slow wind rises from the Caribbean Sea far below. All around, the land stirs awake, a gentle island breathing in the early light. This is Grenada, the Isle of Spice, where time doesn't so much pass as unfold, petal by petal, in a dance of scent and color and song. You close your eyes. The air itself is heavy with fragrance: nutmeg, cinnamon, clove, cocoa. It's as if the earth dreams in spice and wants you to taste it with every breath. The chorus of distant birdsong weaves with the calls of goats and the laughter of children already up to chase the day. In the shadows of breadfruit trees, you hear the quiet hush of leaves, the sleepy greeting of geckos darting across a sun-warmed wall. Somewhere, a fisherman's radio murmurs calypso. The notes drift across a valley thick with mist and memory. You take your first steps down a winding path, through gardens tangled with orchids and wild ginger, beneath mangoes that hang low and heavy. There's a rhythm to the island's waking, a deep, old heartbeat that pulses in the ground and the sky and the warm, salt wind. You walk slow, following it, feeling your senses open like doors. Below you, the sea glimmers, blue upon blue, impossibly bright, and the coastline arcs away in coves and headlands, as if it was shaped by a gentle hand. The island is neither loud nor silent. It's something deeper, a living hush, woven with 1,000 small kindnesses, 1,000 stories not told, but felt. Each step, each breath, feels like returning to something you once knew but forgot. The simple joy of presence. The path leads you into the heart of a village where wooden houses perch on stilts above the earth, painted in wild, joyful colors: turquoise and ochre, crimson and lime, their walls weathered by rain and sun, and the salt that rides every wind. A woman calls out a greeting, her accent lilting, eyes bright. She offers you a cup of cocoa tea, spiced and steaming, the sweetness tempered by nutmeg grated fresh. Soon the village begins to move with the pulse of morning. Children run past in pressed uniforms, their laughter spilling down the lane, sandals kicking up the red dust. A market wakes beneath the spreading limbs of a centuries-old mahogany tree, tables crowded with golden plantains, baskets of breadfruit and soursop, glossy green callaloo, spices in brown paper cones. The voices rise, sellers calling softly, neighbors teasing, friends pausing to chat in a mix of English and patois that ebbs and flows like the tide. You drift through the market, hands brushing over yams, over the rough skin of nutmeg fruit. Someone offers you a slice of sweet guava and then a wedge of sugar cane to chew. Every taste is bright, sunlit, alive. An old man leans in, telling you quietly how each spice is planted, harvested, and carried down the winding paths on strong backs. You realize the island's stories are told as much in taste and touch as in words. Past the market, the road narrows and twists between groves of cocoa and towering bamboo. The canopy dapples the path with shifting green light. You pause as a monkey leaps overhead, its movements light and sure. The air here is cool, the forest thick with shadows and the calls of hidden birds. Water tumbles somewhere nearby, a promise of rivers and falls. You follow the sound, soon coming to a pool fed by a narrow singing cascade. Annandale, Concord, or maybe just a secret stream known only to those who live close to the earth. You sit on a rock smoothed by centuries, slipping your feet into the cold, clear water. Around you, the world glows with a patient emerald light. There is nothing to do but listen, to the water, to the leaves, to your own breathing slowing down. As midday comes, you find yourself wandering along a quiet road lined with spice trees. The scent is everywhere, sweet and sharp. Women sit in the shade, splitting open nutmeg fruit, their fingers stained gold and brown. Laughter rings out as they work, and you are welcomed to join. They show you how to separate the nut from its crimson lace, how to dry it in the sun until it rattles, ready for grinding. The work is slow, almost meditative. Your hands begin to remember old rhythms. After a while, you continue on, following the road as it climbs into the hills. The air cools, sweet with mountain wind. You pass through tiny hamlets where chickens wander freely, and every fence is bright with hibiscus. An old church stands open, its whitewashed walls gleaming in the light, a single bell waiting for the next wedding or funeral or festival. You pause, letting the hush settle over you, feeling the deep steadiness of stone and faith. You keep walking, drawn by the distant sound of drums. In a clearing, you find a group gathered in a circle, their faces painted, their clothes alive with color. This is the rehearsal for a coming festival, perhaps carnival, perhaps the ancestral drumming of the Big Drum Nation dance. The rhythm is deep, hypnotic, each beat echoing through the ground and up into your chest. You are invited to sit, to watch, to let the music work its old magic. Someone pulls you up and, laughing, teaches you the first steps. The dance is joy and memory made visible. As the afternoon wanes, you take a winding trail down toward the sea. The hills are steep, but the air smells of mango and salt and distant rain. From the top, you can see the coastline curled around the blue, Grand Etang Beach, soft and white, stretching for miles. You make your way down, your body loose, skin tingling with sweat, and the faint dust of spice. You reach the beach just as the day turns golden. The sand is fine as sugar, the sea gentle, cool. Families gather under almond trees, their laughter mingling with the slow rhythm of the waves. A woman hands you a plate of oil down, the island's slow-cooked stew of breadfruit, salted meat, coconut, and spice. It is rich, fragrant, filling. You taste, and each bite is a memory, a tradition kept alive. You wade into the shallows, letting the salt water cleanse and refresh. The sun slips lower, gilding the water and the skin of those around you. Boys race each other to a floating dock. Fishermen mend nets, their hands moving with a quiet confidence. The world feels full, complete, suspended between day and night. As dusk falls, the village stirs with a new energy. Lanterns flicker to life along verandas. Somewhere nearby, someone plays a steel pan, the notes rising, liquid and bright, carrying into the warm night. Families gather for dinner, plates piled with callaloo, grilled fish, rice cooked with coconut and beans. Stories are told, laughter shared. The air is rich with the scent of roasting spice and the distant tang of wood smoke. You sit with neighbors, feeling the gentle press of community. Children sprawl on mats, nodding off as elders recount tales of hurricanes and harvests, of ancestors who crossed the sea, of spirits who still linger in the hills and forests. You listen, quietly honored to be a guest in this web of memory and kinship. Later, you wander to the edge of the bay, where the lights of St. George's shimmer on the water. The harbor is alive with small boats, their hulls rocking softly in the tide. The old fort stands above the town, its stones glowing in the moonlight, silent witness to centuries of change. You climb slowly, feeling the layers of history beneath your feet. Colonial walls, hidden tunnels, cannons turned now to look out only on peace. From the top, the city spreads below you, a jumble of red roofs, churches, spice warehouses, the open arms of the carronage wrapping the bay. You sit in the hush, feeling the night settle like a blessing. A warm breeze stirs. Somewhere, a distant voice sings a lullaby, slow and sweet. You walk back down, through narrow streets, lined with bougainvillea and bread shops, past rum bars, where laughter spills out, through squares, where dominoes are played under the flicker of lamplight. The city is both awake and dreaming, alive with possibility. Your days on Grenada pass in a slow, generous rhythm. Each morning brings a new kindness, a neighbor offering fruit, a fisherman sharing a story, a child teaching you the words for rain and moon in patois. You hike in the high rainforest, where clouds drift between giant ferns and the call of a monkey echoes down steep ravines. You discover hidden waterfalls, cool and wild, where dragonflies flit and the air is thick with green. You visit spice plantations, where nutmeg trees lean over the hills, their roots deep in volcanic soil. Workers sing as they harvest, their voices rising with the scent of mace and clove and the heavy, dark earth. You learn how every part of the nutmeg is used: the shell, the flesh, the precious heart. The island's wealth is subtle, patient, and shared. At a village festival, you watch the boats come in, sails painted bright with flowers and flags. There is music, dancing, food for all. The past and present blur. African drums, French patois, British hymns, calypso rhythms. Women in bright headscarves serve spiced fish and roti. The air tastes of ginger beer and rum punch. You join the crowd, moving with laughter and the pounding of feet on earth. The joy here is contagious, unself-conscious, a celebration of simply being alive. You wander through old cocoa estates, the air thick with the smell of roasting beans and fermenting fruit. A master chocolate maker breaks open a pod and hands you the fresh pulp to taste. Tangy, sweet, unexpected. You learn to grind nibs between stone, to temper chocolate with patience and care. Each taste is layered, as deep and complex as the land itself. On quiet afternoons, you sit by the water's edge, watching the boats drift, the clouds gather and part, the pelicans glide low across the waves. Sometimes, a rainstorm sweeps in quickly. Thunder, a burst of coolness, then sunlight again, more brilliant than before. The world shines, renewed. In time, you begin to feel the true heart of Grenada, a patience, a generosity, an unhurried joy. It is in the way neighbors look after one another, in the gentle laughter of the market, in the steady hands that plant and harvest, in the songs that rise with the evening wind. The land is small, but infinite. Every hillside holds a secret, every bay a story. You visit a small church on a Sunday morning, the congregation dressed in their finest, voices raised in gospel that shakes the roof and makes the sunlight dance in the stained glass. Afterward, the pastor invites you to stay for tea, and you find yourself sitting beneath a mango tree, sharing bread and memory with strangers who are strangers no more. You walk the length of Grand Etang Beach at sunrise, the world wrapped in quiet gold. Fishermen set out, paddles dipping, their silhouettes calm against the swelling light. You pick up a shell and hold it to your ear, listening to the hush of the tide and the distant laughter of the waking island. On your last evening, you climb again to the old fort, looking out over the harbor and the hills beyond. The city is painted in the colors of dusk: coral, gold, indigo. The sea glows with the memory of 1,000 sunsets. As darkness falls, the lights of the town flicker on, warm as lanterns in the night. You realize you have slowed down. Your heart beats in time with the island. You know the taste of nutmeg and cocoa, the sound of rain on leaves, the laughter of strangers who have become friends. As our narrated discovery of Grenada comes to a close, we hope this journey has brought you a sense of calm and wonder. If you enjoyed wandering with us, please consider subscribing to A Narrated Discovery for more poetic explorations of the world. Leave a comment if you have thoughts, suggestions, or a country you'd love us to visit next. And if this brought you a moment of stillness, a like would mean the world. Thank you for exploring gently with us. Until next time.